We're going to begin to add on to some of the arm drag or back take series that we began with some additional options, mainly the belly down armbar. The belly down armbar is going to be the most versatile, the most common attack that you're going to get a chance to add into this back take series we've been working on. So first, let's just look here. Remember, we looked at a lot of different entries for this arm drag or this back take. They all will work for this, okay? Because so if we just look at a familiar one first, if I'm dragging, my partner bends the elbow. Okay, so we're just doing this familiar one here that we spent a lot of time working on. When I open up and twist. Okay, so right here, where my foot is still hooking on my partner's thigh, my thigh is on, and my hip is on top of my partner, I'm hugging the back and my hands closed. This is gonna kind of be like our branching decision point right here, where this could turn into a sweep, back take, or arm bar from this position here, okay, where I'm on top of my partner. So from here, we're going to start looking at the belly down arm bar. So let's go, most commonly is probably going to be if I just see this little window right here and I can start to go through elbow to elbow is going to be the first one. Okay, most commonly I'm going to go through elbow to elbow. As I'm going through elbow to elbow, I want my thigh and knee coming up and covering my partner's shoulder, just like we talked about all of these attacks, triangle, armbar, where I'm going perpendicular to my partner's spine. I want to cover my partner's shoulder, and that covering the shoulder is going to help me move my hips into position. Okay, so it looks like this. I go elbow to elbow, I cover my partner's shoulder, and I twist my hips and fall to my side. Okay, very important I fall to my shoulder so that I'm facing my partner's feet. Usually my partner will be gripping his hands together at this point, okay? If my partner's hands are gripped together, I'm gonna have a very difficult time breaking the grip from this position, so I wanna roll my partner over, okay? What I'm doing to help roll my partner over, I'm gonna reach for a pant leg grip, and I wanna pull this over my head. As I pull over my head, my bottom knee and shin, I can push into my partner's cheek and jaw and make him look the other way, okay? Forcing him to roll over the shoulder. So I'm gonna grab the pant leg, pull to my head, and I push my partner's cheek and jaw to roll him over and cover his head right away. Okay, and then we're just here in our basic armbar attacking position. Okay, so next variation of that one. Let's go back this way. So, now, just a different entry here. We're going to look at an entry off of a flower sweep, okay? So again, trying to mix and match as many of these techniques as we can, draw as many connections between them as we can. So if I'm going for my flower sweep and my partner posts this free arm across the body, okay, I can start going on to my back take series. So I'm going to give a little twist, hug the back, twist my hips on top, okay? And right here, we're right in the same position. Now, a lot of the times when you go for these entries where I was not controlling this arm, this is actually when they'll very commonly give you that arm, okay? So when I'm not controlling his arm, often when I start to post up, his tendency is to post his hand out here. Yeah, exactly, okay? If he posts it out that far, I'm not gonna go elbow to elbow, I'm gonna go wrist to wrist, okay? Because if he's giving me this much of his arm, my next priority is I want to make sure his hands don't touch together. It makes my finish much easier. So now I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to climb my knee up over, go wrist to wrist, and now when I go wrist to wrist, I take his arm far from his body. Okay? If I don't have to worry about breaking grips, I don't want him to roll anymore. That's one more scramble that he might get out. So now, if I want him to roll, remember, I grab his pant leg, I bring him parallel to me. If I don't want him to roll, I stiff arm his hip and keep him perpendicular to me, and I get my finish right here for the belly down arm bar. Okay? So, let's go back. These are our first couple attacks on belly down arm bar, and now we'll start looking at some different variations. So, one of the things we're actually going to look to connect together is our attacks from mount. Okay, so finishing a sweep, a lot of the times when you're finishing a sweep or when you're attacking from this almost to the back position, it's a little ambiguous, okay? Or even somebody escaping mount. All these positions can start to look alike. So So what I mean is this. If we look here, let's say I'm going to attack my back take here, twist up, post. Now again, depending on how my partner's reacting, I have all my options here. I can post my hand and do my sweep here. So I punch my hip to my partner's shoulder and bring him over to the technical mount, okay? Now, just so you understand the connection, I'm gonna show you from here if I were to try to force a belly down armbar, okay? So when I'm doing belly down arm bars, look, standard arm bar, I come from the side of the legs. Belly down arm bar, I'm always gonna come from the side of the head, okay? So as I'm doing this, again, I'm gonna bring my shin and my toes to my partner's neck. I'm gonna cover my partner's shoulder. I'm gonna go fall to this shoulder and face my partner's feet, and I can force the belly down armbar position here. Okay, now come back. So, now usually that's not how you're going to attack, right? But if let's say I get my sweep here, coming up, bring my partner over, and there's a scramble, right? We're not settling right here. But as he's maybe trying to escape the mount or not let me settle in mount, if he starts to turn and go belly down, I can chase with that belly down armbar. Okay? So that's just to show you, begin to show you some of the connections there between the belly down armbar. It should look the same from any position, whether when they're escaping mount, scrambling to stop a pass, or if you're partway through your back take series. Final thing to consider when you're attacking the belly down armbar is different options you have with your legs, different benefits you have with different leg positions. So, first one we looked at. So I get my attack here coming up, post. So now when I go, whether it's elbow to elbow or wrist to wrist, remember, I'm going to cover the shoulder, and I want my top of my foot and my toes to hook on my partner's neck. Okay? This hook right here, my toes tight to my partner's neck, and my shin, I can push my knee and my shin in against my partner's head. This is going to be very beneficial when I go to, if I decide I have to, when I go to roll my partner. Okay, and then I cover the head right away. Now, number two, there are some big benefits if I can get my leg all the way in front of my partner's face. So remember, I'm just showing one new entry today, but any of the back take entries we're looking at are going to get you to the same position. Okay, but I can come here, twist, come up, post. Okay, so we get here with a lot of our back take entries. Now from here, let's say, so I start to go and hook on my partner's arm for the belly down armbar, but I see there's space here. Okay, so I might have a chance to actually clear my whole leg all the way in front of my partner's face. Okay. Now, if my partner touches his hands together, it's the same deal. I can start to go to roll him over, okay? And I can even use this knee now to kind of help pry bar him and encourage the roll. But what I want to show you with this leg in front, I get one extra option when I get my leg in front of my partner's head, okay? Another thing I want you to notice is I always want to be ready to lengthen out my spine and make a kind of a kickstand here of my upper body, okay? But one thing is, so when I'm going belly down armbar, I always want to fall to this left shoulder. If I have my leg in front of my partner's face and he tries to go to stack me, I can go to my wrong shoulder and end up in a simple mounted armbar kind of finish, okay? So one more look at that. It's important to understand, you don't have this option if your foot is just hooking the back of the neck, okay? This option comes from getting your leg all the way in front. Here, boom, taking my attack. I go for the armbar. Maybe even I'm initially here, going for the regular one, and I feel maybe he's resisting up, lifting his head. I clear my leg, okay? So when I'm here for belly down armbar, I go to my shoulder facing the feet. If he starts to aggressively stack me right now, I have an extra option. I go to my wrong shoulder, and I can put him on his back that way. Okay, so that's an extra option you get if you get your leg in front of the face. Okay, now the last one. Last one here to look at is actually an entry to a back triangle. I'm going to show it mainly because it uses so many of the same movements. Okay, it's not one that you'll get so many opportunities to do, as many as the belly down armbar, but since it uses all these same movements, we're gonna take a look at it. So I get my entry, boom, making my attack here, post. Now, anytime I can control this arm, I'm looking for belly down armbar. If he gives me space, post it on your hand here. If this bent elbow, yeah, exactly. If there's space over here as well, I can go for the back triangle. So I hook the arm and I hook this space right here. Okay. Now it's important. Be a little bit sturdy here so I can support weight. Yeah, so you can support weight. It's important here. I'm gonna do the same motion I do for my sweep. In other words, I'm gonna extend this leg out this way and try to touch my hip to his neck. So this knee is not gonna stay in place. It needs to extend and slide out. If I'm squeezing super tight right here, the triangle finish is gonna be way too loose. Okay, so I have his arm. Okay, my partner's gonna be nice and sturdy. I'm gonna twist my hip like I'm gonna do that sweep, and then I crunch his head down. Okay? Now from here, when I get to this position, I have his arm on the top side. My feet are gonna go to the top side. Okay, and from here I can control, get my shin, and when I lock my back triangle, my toes go to my partner's back. I can squeeze for the triangle, and I can even go back on a Kimura right here. Okay? So that's just one final option, being aware of what you can do with this leg, the top leg coming over the back for different options from the back seat armbar series. All right? Okay.